mouth of the sound, Jimmy Hart. This is unbelievable. I'm here for Make-A-Wish, baby. I'm having the greatest time. But you know what I'm listening to? I'm listening to the Audibly Offensive Radio, baby. It's number one.
In 2008, a cracked-out sports show was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit: the comedic murder of Oakland Raiders owner Al Davis. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the AO Team. Audibly Offensive Radio.
The dust has settled, the smoke is cleared, and the city and the area in which we live is still lamenting. Welcome to another depressing, upsetting, heart-stopping, elbow-dropping, penny-dropping episode of Audibly Offensive Radio. My name is Patrick Swafford. However you may be listening to us, whether it be on any of our internet radio affiliates like WWP and MediaNet, 101.9 Fox FM, MTR Online, or Bar Talk Sports. Thank you so much for making this episode of Audibly Offensive Radio the best part of your week and the home for all your sports knowledge you're going to need. Don't forget, you can also check us out on our own site, audibly.offensive.com, and on the iTunes Store by power searching Audibly Offensive or my last name Swafford, Swafford. You can find every show that we've done in the 6-year history of this crazy-ass podcast. And you'll hear voices like Chris Lemke, Chris Lundy, Todd Bobenreath, who's getting married on Sunday. Congratulations, and I look forward to seeing your ugly ass. John Big Gravy Nicholson, Justin the Weasel Wazante. Who else have we had on this show? Dear Sweet Mother of God. I mean, we had a lot of people. The Motor Mouth, James Burton. Yeah, a lot of people. And this asshole, ladies and gentlemen.
Then there's me.
and then there's you, the newest asshole to this, menagerie of madness. Ooh, alliteration. I like that.
I like that. You want to keep that one.
I like that. The menagerie of madness.
That's the next T-shirt.
Yeah, damn right. That's your first T-shirt. We still haven't gotten the original one done. Guillermo Cummings, I'm looking at you, bitch. But no show would be complete without a co-host, and joining us this week, as he has for so many weeks, with gown on, mortarboard in hand, ladies and gentlemen, and tassels strategically placed. I won't tell you where. I'll let you figure that shit out on your own. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the intellectual savior of the asshole masses, your professor and my good friend, Professor Brian Kriego.
Hello to everyone. And you mentioned how the city of Cleveland and its environs are lamenting. Not everybody is lamenting, because my wife and I got to check out a baseball game last night. And I'll tell you what, not everybody liked that outcome, but I like that outcome a lot.
17-0, Kriego's Cubbies whooping up on the Tribe.
17 to Squadoosh. And for about a second and a half, we were on SportsCenter.
Oh, nice.
And I have the video footage to prove it if anybody doesn't believe me, because we were in section 304, pretty much all to ourselves. And then they showed the footage of Anthony Rizzo's 2-run homer in the second inning. For about a second and a half, you see section 304, and there's Heather in her Indians gear and me in my neutral gear and Cubs hat, because I didn't want to start a riot, although there were more Cubs fans in the building than Indians fans yesterday, so I would have been fine.
Not surprising. But before we get into this week's show, a little bit more piece of baseball knowledge. We do like to drop some names here on Audibly Offensive Radio, especially people that we know and love. And if the distinguished gentleman from Atlanta, Georgia, Mr. Christopher Lundy, were here with me tonight, he would have already bitch slapped me because we're 3.5 minutes into the show and I still haven't mentioned this. Last night, while Kriego was in North Ohio, the Indians get trounced, about 4 hours south of here in Cincinnati, something really awesome happened in terms of a very good personal friend of myself and Mr. Lundy. 10th inning of a tie ball game between the Reds and the Tigers. Now pitching for your Cincinnati Reds, making his Cincinnati Reds debut from Jacksonville State University, number 51, Donovan Hand. Our our good boy got called up from AAA Louisville, got his first appearance as a Cincinnati Red. Keep in mind the dude was doing work as a member of the Milwaukee Brewers in their organization, doing a couple of spot starts last year. So Devo, as Lundy and I both know him, went 3 scoreless innings, picked up the win because Todd Frazier went yard to seal the deal and walk us off.
Nice job.
So, Donovan Hand, 1-0 on this season, bitches. Especially being the fact that it's someone that I know. I've talked sports. I've talked baseball with. I've talked baseball movies with. Someone that I've had drinks with. Someone that I've eaten next to. It couldn't happen.
It was a good feeling.
That was a very good feeling. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Donovan, I know you listen every once in a while, man. Congratulations, brother. All the best to you, your wife, and your daughter in Cincinnati. Stay your ass up in the bigs this time.
There you go.
Stay your ass up. No more getting called down to AAA. Stay with the Reds. I'll see you after the All-Star break. Damn Skippy. Whoa. Well, we may have to throw a little bit more baseball in as well with a little scandal coming up here in a little bit. Scandal alert. Scandal alert.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And if you're Chris Lundy, you definitely don't want to be on this show tonight because we're about to rip the shit out of the St. Louis Cardinals. Anyway, we start tonight's show off with a little pro wrestling. And if you listened to last week, you might have caught the very beginning of the show when I kind of jumped in before we started the show with a quick little tribute to a fallen hero and icon. As anybody that follows pro wrestling, or if you've even been following national news, last Wednesday, unfortunately, the wrestling world lost the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, who at the age of 69. Virgil Runnels was one of the most iconic figures in the history of professional wrestling. A 3-time NWA World Head Champion. Keep in mind, boys and girls, for those of you that are under the age of 30, the NWA preceded the WWE as like the pinnacle name in wrestling. The WWE champ is kind of regarded as the champ in the world now. Back then, it was the NWA champ. Dusty Rhodes held that title 3 times. Dusty Rhodes is quite possibly the greatest mic man in the history of the business from a wrestler's perspective. I'd put him neck and neck with Paul Heyman as far as being the best mic guy of all time. No one was more charismatic. No one was more entertaining. And no one had the sizzle that Dusty Rhodes had. Krigo, your thoughts?
He's also one of the few guys that I can name, because I was making some notes before the show about what I wanted to make sure I said. And he's one of the few guys I can name off the top of my head who succeeded at every level.
Oh, absolutely.
That he was involved with the business. He started off as a wrestler, and then he became a booker. Booking matches for WCW in the late 80s and 90s. And then when he came in with the WWE, he was a talent developer, like behind the scenes. Like he would help the young wrestlers along, help them with promos, help them with...
To his dying day, he was. I mean, he was an integral part in Orlando with WWE's developmental system, NXT, which we talk so much about here, not only because it's a great brand, but also our ties to certain staff members at NXT that will go nameless.
Because
not
when
because we
they...
don't love them, but just because we don't want to
out of
name drop
respect
that. Out of respect, and not name dropping at this point, because the only name we're dropping is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Because I saw when they came out at the start of Raw last week, and they had everybody out in the staging area, there were tears on just about everybody's. Everybody was dabbing at the corners of their eyes, and everybody had I'm talking, guys that are supposed to be heels and guys that are supposed to be faces and stuff like that. You could tell how deep of an impact, he had on people, because I'm sure many a wrestler went to him and asked for help or solicited some advice from
WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins started off in NXT. Seth Rollins posted on Twitter one picture of him and Dusty Rhodes. And it wasn't the picture of Dusty Rhodes presenting Seth Rollins with the first ever NXT Championship belt in the center of the ring during that TV taping. It was backstage, a nice hug between the Dream and the inaugural NXT champion, Seth Rollins. Little known fact about that. The current WWE champ was the first ever NXT champ. The belt that Kevin Owens brilliantly wears right now. But it was guys like, it was guys like Seth Rollins. It was a lot of the younger guys that were the most affected by it, because Dusty Rhodes referred to these NXT guys and gals as his kids. These are my kids. He had a massive investment in them. There are people on the main roster that are there because Dusty Rhodes convinced somebody they needed to be there.
Right.
I mean, Dusty Rhodes wanted to take a chance on them. Give you a great example. And if you guys watched the E60 on NXT a month or so ago, you saw one of these guys, Matt Polinsky, also known as Corey Graves, who's an announcer for WWE. He was an NXT wrestler, was an NXT tag team champion. He had so many concussions he had to retire. Dusty Rhodes immediately went to Triple H and said, I want him on my staff. I want him to help me book. I want to turn him into an announcer. He's a great talker. I can turn him into an announcer. I can do that. I can teach him other aspects of this business.
When you have an ally like that, I mean, that goes a long way to furthering your career.
Yeah, because if you had Dusty Rhodes as an ally, you had God. Because Dusty was easily the greatest booker in the history of the business. Dusty Rhodes came up was just, number one, insanely creative. But he came up with two of the most iconic things in wrestling that most people don't even realize Dusty Rhodes came up with this concept. Number one, War Games. Old WCW, NWA match, but one of my favorite gimmick matches ever. War Games. Beautiful.
And I've never seen a lot of those matches. I know the WWE put out a box set.
And I own it if you want to borrow it.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I
was
own
going to
it.
see if I could find it on
hell
the cheap on Amazon or something.
I love War Games. That bastard came out, I bought it. I didn't even wait a day. I was like, War Games comes out, I want. So, yeah, I ordered it off Amazon like the day it was available. So, yeah, I'll be more than happy to let you borrow it next time we see you guys, because it's worth watching. You got Blu-ray, right?
Yes.
All right, cool, yeah, because I have it on Blu-ray. He also came up with something called the Dusty Finish.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't know, the Dusty Finish, Krigo's the good guy, I'm the bad guy, I'm the champ. Krigo and I are wrestling, the ref gets knocked out. Because I pulled him in the way. Refs out.
How nefarious of you.
Yeah, very much so. Very, very nefarious of me. But I'm the bad guy. Of course it's going to happen.
Of course.
Krieg and I are still going at it. No referee. All of a sudden, Kriego hits his finisher. Out of nowhere. Boom. He makes the cover.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. He makes the cover. Another ref slides in. 1, 2, 3. Everybody's all going crazy because it's now believed your winner and new champ, Brian Kriego. But wait. Here comes the original referee who is now disqualifying me because I pulled him in the way of Brian Kriego. I got the referee knocked out, which is grounds for a disqualification. The original referee, whose decision technically still is final, is disqualifying me. So Brian Kriego still wins the match, But the title cannot change hands on a disqualification. That's a dusty finish, boys and girls, being used to this day, and it's a brilliant play. It's a brilliant play, especially when you want to make your good guy you want the fans to feel for because he's...
So I guess what you're saying is my favorite match of all time then is a variant of the dusty finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Between Triple H and The Rock?
Yes, because Undertaker came out with like 2 minutes to go and beat up everybody he got in the ring and chokeslammed Triple H. And Shawn Michaels saw it. And he chokeslammed him with like 4 seconds left in the match.
Yeah, to a degree, that is a derivative of the dusty finish.
Because it goes as a disqualification for, in the favor of The Rock, or a disqualification on behalf of The Rock. So Triple H won the fall and kept the
right,
belt.
because at that point it was tied.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a variant of the dusty finish. But yeah, it all starts with the referee getting knocked out. The referee's got to be out of the picture. But yeah, I mean that's still being used. They did that shit on Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
They did that shit on Raw. Are you kidding me? Of course, especially when they're trying to pay tribute to Dusty Rhodes. Yeah, you're going to do one of two things. You're going to bust out War Games or you're going to do a dusty finish.
And for the uninitiated, I did read there's a guy who writes for Grantland, the Masked Man, on ESPN's Bill Simmons side project on ESPN.
Well, now it's actually just Bill Simmons' side project.
Yeah, because he's not employed by ESPN anymore. But on Grantland, there's the wrestling columnist is the Masked Man. He operates out of New York, and he wrote a wonderful piece about Dusty Rhodes. I think it's called Requiem for the Dream. If for those of you that want to look it up and read it, it's very well written. There's lots of links to other stuff that you spin off, find yourself in a rabbit hole that he posts. But for those of you that don't know that much about Dusty Rhodes, don't understand what all the hoopla is about, that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Because it'll give you a really clear picture of what he meant to the business and to all the people involved.
Yeah, I mean, and those that are listening that are thinking, okay, well, guys, this is wrestling. It's still fake. Okay, yeah, it's still fake. We get this, but we're not talking about the actual wrestling aspect. We're talking about the creative. We're talking about the creative side. This would be the same. This would be a lot like, let's say Chris Lemke was here. Chris Lemke is a massive fan of Aaron Sorkin, who gave you The West Wing, who gave you I think Newsroom. So many other great television shows. Aaron Sorkin dies. You're same kind of, lamenting on a different scale because Dusty Rhodes, for lack of a better term, was a television writer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it happened to be live action, playing out every week in front of a sold-out arena. He wrote TV, and he wrote brilliant TV for over 24 years. I mean, an Einstein of the business. He's going to be missed. He's going to be sorely missed. His impact has been felt across wrestling. That when you talk about Dusty Rhodes, you tend to do an impression of Dusty Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Maria Menounos from Access Hollywood? Yeah. Access Hollywood. During the WWE Hall of Fame red carpet show the night before WrestleMania, she's standing next to Dusty Rhodes, and she's doing her impression of the Dream, doing his most iconic in history, his Hard Times promo. And she's killing it. Absolutely.
And Dusty was loving every minute of it.
Oh, Dusty loved anything. Dusty Rhodes was a great, loving human being, but Dusty Rhodes loved people putting him over. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with that because, hey, I can relate. I can relate. I love it when people put me over. But anyway, let's go ahead.
Is this the part of the show I'm supposed to put you over?
No, you'll do that later. You'll do that later.
Okay.
Well, we got a little bit left to go in the show. We're going to try and keep this a little bit on the short side because I got a little ticked off 11-week-old baby downstairs, and yeah, I need to go help out the mama bear as soon as possible. So we got about 25 minutes left to go. Let's talk some NBA Finals. Not really necessarily the finals, by the way. I just want to say one thing real quick. Hashtag called it. Golden State in 6. Called it. Suck it. By the way, suck it. Wait, one more time. Suck it.
25 minutes of this? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah. Hey, yeah. If you want 25 minutes of self gratification, I suggest porn. Yes, I went there. Anyway, not necessarily where did the Cavs lose it, how did Golden State win it, because everybody else has done that. I mean, that's been beaten to death for the last couple of days. How about we look at where do we go from here? And
the future.
Let's look to the future. Let's stop looking at the past. Let's look to the future. Let's move forward into the off season and into next season. And I'm just gonna cold deck you right now and just ask you, what's Cleveland have to do to actually win 2 more games?
Well, what I want to do is thank the Cavaliers for a great run. I thought they were as dysfunctional as anybody early in the season. Together, they made some trades, and they got themselves to a point where if things had fallen their way, they probably would have found those extra 2 games and been able to step on Golden State's throat when they were up 2-1 instead of laying an egg in Game 4 and, outrun in Game 5. And
by the way, ladies and gentlemen, he means if things would have gone their way. By if things would have gone their way, he means if everybody would have been healthy.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and say it right now because nobody else is. Cleveland at 100% against Golden State played. Golden State gets their asses whooped.
Agreed.
Golden State did not play a good. Golden State didn't play a good series. They were
Give me
meh.
a Kyrie Irving at 100%. It at least goes 7.
Kyrie and LeBron at 100%, it goes 7. Kyrie, LeBron, and Love at 100%, it goes 5.
Right.
The way Golden State played. And there are a lot of bandwagon Warriors fans out there, and you can all kiss my ass because bandwagon fucking suck. I will go rant mode on if you poke the bear on this one. But Golden State, the way they played, if LeBron James had a team a little bit better than the team that he took to the finals in 2007, he would have won that damn thing.
Yeah.
But he had a worse team in this season than he did when San Antonio whooped his ass in 4 straight games.
And so to that end, the moves that I have the Cavs making, it's time to cast off all of the, the posse from Miami.
Agreed.
It's time to acknowledge that you need some younger bodies.
Well, first off, I mean, real quick, yeah, you're going to have these guys on your bench, but you're not going to play them. That's what I don't get. You're going to just, David Blatt's going to roll up a rotation of like 6 deep.
He's not going to get it done.
Dude,
you have
it worked. That works for one guy and one team. Dude's name is John Calipari, and we're talking about Kentucky. That's the only time it works when you're playing 6 deep. Everybody else is on the bench whacking off.
Right, and when you have a rotation of 6 or 7, you make it really easy for the opposition game plan for you.
Exactly.
Okay, we just have to stop a couple guys and we'll be fine because we know that in big moments these other guys are going to come up small. So
J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith. Oh, I'm sorry.
The 8 guys that I have them keeping. And this is, you have a summer to get healthy. Everybody gets healed. Everybody gets re-signed because Dan Gilbert has indicated he's willing to spend. He doesn't care about luxury tax penalties or anything like that.
About damn time.
Right. Mozgov obviously stays at center. Kyrie's under team control for, I think, 3 or 4 more years at point guard. You bring back Shumpert. I have them bringing back Kevin Love, and obviously LeBron comes back too, which means Thompson, J.R. Smith, and Dellavedova go back to the roles in which they excel. You now have a deeper bench, and you augment that bench because I went on and I looked at the free agents, and they're talking about how this is a deep class of free agent. It's deep, but it's not very good. I mean, there's a lot of
it's very good at the top, and then
there's a lot of tripe out there.
Yeah,
so I had to wade through the tripe, and here's what I came up with for the Cavs.
Okay.
I have them signing from Dallas Richard Jefferson,
Oh, no.
And I have them signing from Portland, LaMarcus Aldridge.
No way in hell that'll happen.
Because you need another big to rotate in with Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson. To give yourself size and
you can't have three max guys on that team. You cannot have three max contracts because LaMarcus Aldridge is going to warrant a max contract. He's that good.
If Gilbert says he wants to spend the money,
you can't do that. You cannot feasibly get away with that, knowing full well that Kyrie Irving's going to be coming due in about 3 years. You can't do it.
No, I mean, that gives you a 3-year window to, I'm not writing the checks. I'm just postulating. That's what I saw the need was.
But here's the thing.
I saw the need for people to be able to run a play, execute a play, to not leave LeBron on an island, and that was the problem.
All right. Well, here's the thing. I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I don't think LaMarcus Aldridge works in Cleveland at all, and here's why. Where is he going to play? He's going to play the 4, right?
Power forward.
Okay. Where's Love?
With Aldridge. Not with him at the same time, but they'll rotate.
So you're going to have either LaMarcus Aldridge or Kevin Love not starting.
Right.
Moving right along. You disqualified yourself right there because those are all stars. Those are starters. They play. So you can't have either one of them play the 5. You can't have either one of them play the 3 because, by the way, the best player in the world is the 3.
Right.
And neither one of them get. And as good of a shooter as Kevin Love is, Kevin Love sure as hell can't play the 2. There's no room on that team for LaMarcus Aldridge except on the bench, and nowhere where he's going to sit on the damn bench. I'll tell you, we were going to talk about this a little later. I'll go ahead and tell you exactly right now where LaMarcus Aldridge is going to end up.
Where's he going to end up?
Playing the 4 at San Antonio. Because and that whole crew, they're going to start getting ready for the future of the San Antonio Spurs, and it's going to revolve around Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Which is a scary proposition.
Oh my God, it's terrifying because all they need now is a good solid 1. They need a point guard for the future to replace Tony Parker. Ball game. Guess what? That's 5 more championships. Down the line. That's 3, 4, 5 championships with Popovich coaching them.
I can see that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know Greg had a coach. He's slightly good. Because every year we write the San Antonio Spurs off, and every year they're back in the mix. So, I want a lot of those things. They have to keep Mozgov. They have to keep Kevin Love. Tristan Thompson's a free agent. Tristan Thompson's ass is about to get paid. And rightfully so. Some of their role players are very good. I think Cleveland would riot if they got rid of Dellavedova at this point. J.R. Smith got to go. J.R. Smith has got to go.
He's streaky, but I thought he, some much needed. They don't get past Chicago without J.R. Smith.
This is true.
But they don't blitz Atlanta the way they did without J.R. Smith.
But I still think you can get someone that's a more consistent shooter on the cheap as opposed to J.R. Smith. Keep Amon Shumpert because Amon Shumpert's a beast.
Yes.
And, his flat top game is on point. One person that in my honest opinion, gotta go. David Blatt.
On the grounds that LeBron really doesn't respect him?
Number 1, on the grounds that LeBron doesn't respect him. Number 2, that the man don't know how to rotate his bench. I'm sorry, but that's one of the reasons Cleveland lost, was the simple fact that they're playing 6 deep against a Golden State team that plays up-tempo. You mean to tell them, let's talk college football real quick, boys and girls, which, by the way, 79 days. You mean to tell me that you're not going to rotate the shit out of your defensive line when you're playing Oregon or you're playing Auburn. You're just going to let those same 4 guys go after the quarterback with Auburn or Oregon to get the damn playoff every 18 seconds? Because that's exactly what happened to Cleveland. They got run to death. The gas tank blew. You're in a 5-round octagon, and the guy you're facing fights at a frenetic tempo. It's just go, 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 go. I can weather the storm for the first couple of rounds, and then you get your butt into deep water. Round 3, round 4, round 5. Odds are you don't make it to the 5-minute mark in round 5. You're not going to make it. It's not going to go to the judges' scorecards. You're going to get finished. You have to rotate against a team that plays up tempo, no matter what sport it is, whether it's hockey, whether it's football, whether it's basketball.
But
David
the counter argument to that would rotate with who, and that's why I keep saying that these, the Miami posse.
Put the damn bodies out there. Okay, yeah, take with who? Hey, they may not be the greatest players and may not be able to keep up with them, but you know what? It's a lot like Hack-a-Shack. Throw them out there and let them foul somebody's ass.
Yeah, I guess. I just didn't see it bench.
You put Mike Miller, Sean Marion, and Kendrick Perkins out there, yeah, Steph Curry's going to score 2 points every time he touches the foul his ass. Let him go to the line. He's going to score 2 points anyway. What the hell? But slow them down. Because free throws, yeah, that's 2 points, but that's not momentum. That doesn't get the energy going. That's just, okay.
And the other problem they had was every time LeBron sat, Golden State would go on a run and he'd come back in with a 12-point deficit or something after his way out of. So that by the end of this year, by Game 6, I was just like, this is not
Cleveland needs a bench.
Going to happen.
Cleveland needs more than the starting 5. That's just all there is to it. Gun to the head right now. Who's the odds-on favorite to win the title next year? Gun to the head right now.
How can you bet against Golden State? I mean, they've got almost everybody important is under team control. The one restricted free agent I saw when I was researching was Draymond Green. He's the only eyebrow-raising name this season coming up. There's a couple others next season that they need to take care of.
Oh, my God. Let's not even talk about the next free agency because that's going to be a damn feeding frenzy.
Yeah, because the TV money, and all that.
Everybody's up.
So, I mean...
LeBron may not opt out. LeBron will opt out next year.
Yeah.
Everybody's up. Durant, Carmelo, LeBron, the list goes on and on and on. It's going to be a feeding frenzy, personally.
Those will be some interesting shows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, my God. Stephen A. Smith will be having a friggin' aneurysm. So you're going Golden State.
I mean, I'm sure there's some other teams where it's like, oh, how could I have forgotten about them? I mean, I'm sure the Clippers will be in the conversation. I'm sure the Cavs will be in the conversation.
As much as I love the Clippers can't finish.
Right.
The Clippers do not have the backbone to finish.
That Steve Ballmer commercial for Funny or Die was pretty.
Oh my God, yes.
The logos. That's Burger King. Oh, okay, well.
Right. Gun to the head. Me, who's going to win the championship? I say it happens next year. I say next year is the year Cleveland gets it.
They'll make some smart signings, I think.
Oh, they absolutely will. Because keep in mind, Miami got to the finals their first year with Bosh, LeBron, and lost. Mm-hmm. Second year, what happened? They
steamrolled.
Yeah, they steamrolled Oak City, which, by the way, I was very much cheering for Miami on that one. # Let's Go Sonics. Yeah, I'm still bitter. Moving right along.
That's 4 straight shows for those of you scoring at home.
Hey, you know what? Anytime we talk basketball, I'm going to get a Let's Go Sonics in there. I'm bitter about that shit. Bled green and gold. I bled green and gold even in '98, where I'm like, yeah, we made the NBA. No, I'm sorry. No, it was '96. '96. I'm like, yeah, we made the NBA Finals against the Chicago Bulls team that went 72-10. We're dead.
Good luck with that.
Oh yeah, I watched that finals. I watched that finals like I was the captain of the Titanic. I'm like, yeah, I'm going down with the ship on this one. I'm like, all right, Kemp, all right, Peyton. God almighty, Jordan's good. I'm like, we are getting bitch slapped all over this motherfucker, and we did. But you know what? At least Kemp and Peyton made a finals.
This is true.
That's all I gotta say about that one. But yeah. Hey, we made the finals. Oh, they're 72. History of basketball. Real quick. Did you see the stat about Steve Kerr?
Which one? There were so many.
He has been a part of the 3 winningest teams in NBA history. The 95-96 Bulls that went 72-10 and then won the NBA title. The 97-98 Bulls the very next year, and this year's Golden State team. And that's counting regular season and playoff. Nobody's won more games than those 2 teams. Those 3 teams. And Steve Kerr has either been up on all of them. So, yeah, that's kind of impressive.
He's got some connections.
Yeah, and that, and in fact, he just knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts, comments, observations about the world of the NBA before we get on to a little bit of baseball real quick, and then to our draft?
No, I covered everything we need to cover on that. So
all right, we're not gonna get into a lot of this because obviously a lot of it's just speculation. But over the last couple of days, news has broken that several members of the St. Louis Cardinals have been. There is a federal investigation of the St. Louis Cardinals because over hacking the databases of the Houston Astros to get classified information, confidential information like scouting reports, player stats, things of that nature.
The story is just so bizarre.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. Right now, not knowing any of the facts, is this or is this not a bigger deal than any of the 3 quote-unquote gates that we had in football over the last 5 or 6 years? Spygate, Bountygate, Deflategate.
I'm going to say yes.
I am too.
Because this rises to the level of criminality.
The freaking feds are involved.
Yeah. If you're gonna wiretaps or I don't know, hacking into servers and stuff like that of a team that's even in your division, not even in your league.
No, but you're doing it because a former Cards employee is now the GM of the Astros.
Are you bitter much?
Sounds like it.
I don't understand what kind of a competitive advantage, because when this was going on, and I'm not saying that if the Cardinals had done it to the Mets or the Yankees or say it would make it okay, because the Astros stunk at this point.
Well, keep in mind, even though they stunk, what they're doing and the time frame that this actually started, the Astros were still in the National League Central. So they theoretically may not have been just getting scouting reports on their own players, but they might have been getting scouting reports on a Joey Votto or Brandon Phillips or Andrew McCutchen. Players in the division because, hey, we all play each other a lot. So that could also be something. Again, we're just speculating because a lot of this stuff hasn't come out. We just wanted to actually acknowledge, yeah, we know this is happening. We're watching this, and when the shit hits the fan, because I got a feeling it's going to hit the fan.
And that's why I think it's safe to speculate on this, because for what other reason could you be doing this? Why does somebody go to that length? Why, corporate espionage from one baseball team to another? What other possible reason except to gain a competitive advantage could you be doing? You're not just doing it for fun.
No.
You're not just doing it to see if you can. There's got to be an end game. And the end game, I think, in the Cardinals' case is we need to keep our edge any way we possibly can, because we've always not me, because I don't like them very much, but people have always lauded the Cardinals for, they do things the right way, and they're a model organization, and they just have good guys. Well, this is not the move of a good guy.
Nope.
This is
the move of the New England Patriots.
This is a gutter slug move.
Like I said, a move of the New England Patriots. So
I think this is a big, serious problem.
Yeah.
If even 50% of what this speculation is true, it's a big, serious problem.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it more.
They probably need to clean house and move on.
I agree. We'll talk about it more as things develop. But like I said, we did want to acknowledge that, yeah, this is happening. We close tonight's show the same way Krigo and I all live draft. Each week we find some little topic that we just want to throw a top 5 at, and this week we're going to change it up a little bit. If a subject is named in the draft, they're off the board. Fair enough?
Oh, okay.
Makes it.
I hope there's no overlap then.
Well, we're going to have to think on our toes, because I just decided to put that together as well, and because I got my list in front of me.
Okay.
The top 5 this week is your own exempt island. For those of you that aren't familiar with the term exempt island, Krigo and I are both happily married men. But if the 5 women on this list were to ever proposition us for sex, it's all good.
On a desert island, of course.
On a deserted island, yes. The wife cannot get mad. The wife cannot get mad because we had an opportunity to spend a tempestuous evening with any of these 5 lovely ladies that we will be drafting.
I'm confident about 80% of this list.
I'm confident about 100% of my list. I'm happy with my list. So, being the fact that you are in my house, I will give you the number 1 overall draft pick.
Thank you, sir. My number 1 pick has been my number 1 pick basically ever since I was a young boy. And I'm going number 1 overall, Janet Jackson.
Nicely done. Miss Jackson
she's just been, musically and, otherwise, she's just been it for me since I was a kid.
Yeah, Jackson and I have a shitload of plastic surgery, so there you go.
Yeah.
So, my number 1, easily for me, Scarlett Johansson. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then she got cast as Black Widow, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, your number 2 overall draft pick. Your number 2, your 3rd overall, your 2nd round pick.
My 2nd round, Barrymore.
Still not on my list. I'm feeling very good about my list. I'm probably going to mispronounce her.
I'm feeling better about my list too then.
I got a feeling I'm going to mispronounce part of her last name, but I really don't give a shit. I'll identify her as her character from her TV show if I have to. My 2nd round pick, 4 overall, Kaylee Cuoco Sweeney. Penny from Big Bang Theory.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Well, we need to get the scout team.
Really?
Available.
Really?
Yeah.
No, dude. No. All right. You
pronounced it right, by the way.
So nice. Nice. I feel good about myself. All right. Your 3rd round pick.
My 3rd round pick would be Naya Rivera.
Who
plays Santana Lopez on Glee.
Oh, okay. I watched
she's hot.
I watched half of an episode of Glee.
Okay, well, when I borrow
it was a series finale. I watched half of. I watched a quarter of the series finale of Glee in time to see a teacher sing a Crosby, Stills and Nash song to his class.
Nice.
That was all. I was like, oh, that's Crosby, Stills and Nash. I'll listen to this. And then that was it. I quickly changed the channel as soon as Amber Riley started singing Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm done. I just don't like that song anyway. It wasn't Amber Riley. She's a great singer. I hate that song.
I could play you 50 clips on YouTube that would make you like the show. I don't know why you keep knocking my show, but
I don't
whatever.
knock your show. It's just not my bag. As the great Austin Powers once said, "It's not my bag, baby."
Okay, I understand.
My third overall pick, definitely not on Krigo's list, because Krigo would never listen to this kind of music. Krigo is not a metalhead like I am. Lizzie Hailstorm. Yeah. Number one, she's a rocker chick. Number two, she doesn't wear a whole lot on stage. Number three, she's gorgeous. And she freaking sing her ass off.
Checks off all the boxes.
Oh yeah, dude, you're a fan of like old school rock, like Heart, bands like that, right?
Yeah.
Hailstorm does an absolutely badass cover of "All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You." They do a badass cover of it. It's on YouTube. You need to check it out.
Okay, I can look that up.
It's good. Your fourth round pick.
My fourth round pick was going to be my fifth round pick before somebody stole my fourth round pick, but that's okay.
I stole your fourth round pick?
Yeah.
Oh, Scarlett.
My fourth round pick was going to be Kaylee Coco Sweeting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my new fourth round pick is Allison Hannigan.
Oh, nice.
How I Met Your Mother and the American Pie movies.
And Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes.
Lesbian kiss on Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that very well. I was watching that show for Sarah Michelle Gellar, and that happened, and I was like, "Hello, you have my attention." We now enter the not American portion of my. Let me rephrase it. We now enter the United Kingdom portion of my exempt island list. My fourth round pick, NXT diva Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
She's pretty. Even with the orange hair, she's And then she talks with a little Irish accent. I'm like, I'm good with that. All right, close it out.
All right, closing it out in an 11th hour decision. We're gonna go with Emma Stone as the fifth.
Thank God! I thought you were about to say something else.
What did you think I was gonna say?
My fifth pick. So you're gonna go Emma Stone.
Yes.
All right. Definitely not a bad choice on that.
I think I know who you're going to go with.
Yeah, because you started
if you fell out of your chair when I said Emma Stone, I think I might know.
Yeah, Emma is right. Emma Watson.
Yeah. They're very nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can make all kinds of dirty Harry Potter references, but since my wife is such a fan, she'll hear them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna close my draft out with Emma Watson. Yeah.
Nice. That's sealed.
Oh yeah. I Mel Kiper's has her on his big board. Then again, I wouldn't mind.
Lots of upside.
Mind. Stop after.
Well,
Moving right along. Oh my God. Wow, look at the time.
Wow, I can see by the clock on the wall there's a fly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so anyway, So how about them Cubbies? Anyway, moving right along. Well,
They're
that's
awesome.
Yeah, I know. After 17-0. How do you feel about that Chris Bryant cat? Anyway.
That ball hasn't landed yet that he hit in the ninth inning last night.
Yeah.
So that ball landed and hit something in Heritage Park. I heard a thunk. From my vantage point, it was pretty resonant. It was just like thunk.
Speaking of being at the game last night, which means you got stuck in traffic.
No.
Betty wanted me to ask you, how was traffic getting out of there? Because if memory serves correctly, weren't New Kids on the Block, TLC, and Nelly across the street from you guys?
They were, but we took out of page 1 of the Krigo playbook. We didn't drive.
Oh, I knew that, but I mean, were you guys? Did the game end around the same time as the concert?
I think the concert ended after the game.
Okay, cool. So you didn't have to worry about getting that crazy ass bullshit.
No, I mean, we saw people around who clearly were there for that, with their homemade signs and their, this and that and the other thing. But it was, we went, Heather was off, so we went down early and had a nice dinner and then moseyed our way over and, had time to check out Monument, or Heritage, I keep calling it Monument Park, That's in New York, Heritage Park, and then went up to our seats and discovered that we were pretty much the only people in the section. Didn't look like that on the website when we ordered the tickets, but hey, it was a nice night.
Yeah, that's always fun. Betty and I went to an Indians game once. Can't remember who the hell they were playing. It's actually while I was visiting up here. Hadn't even moved. We're sitting under the awning, all by ourselves, nobody around us. This couple comes up the stairs. They're coming up from like the dugout, and they make a beeline straight for us. Guy's on the phone. His wife smiling at us. She says, "Hi, would you like our tickets? My husband's on the phone with our daughter. She's going into labor. This is going to be our grandchild. We have season tickets. We're right down there. If you'd like our seats instead."
Wow.
Like,
don't mind if I do.
Well, I was like, "What?" She said, "You guys look like you guys are having a good time. Here."
That's awesome.
She said, "That usher right down there knows us because, again, we're season ticket holders, and he'll get you to your seats." We're like, "Okay." We
Sweet.
walked down there. We were like, "This handed us their tickets and said that you knew them." He said, "Yeah." He said, "They're kind of excited about being grandparents." So he said, "They sit right there." Well, shit. We were like 3 rows back. We went from being like 35 rows back to 3 rows back.
That's awesome. That's quite an upgrade.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, this is awesome. Ironically enough, 2 rows behind us was a guy in an Alabama hat. I'm wearing an Auburn hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit contentious when we start doing "Hang On, Sloopy" tonight. Everybody else is gonna be spelling out OHIO, and he's gonna try to spell
TIDE.
Yeah, he's gonna try to spell that, and he's gonna get it wrong. Yeah, it was fun.
And you'll just be flying like an eagle.
Yeah, I know. War damn eagle. By the way, college football begins in 79 days. Get your cameras ready. It's gonna be fun. That's gonna do it for this week's episode of Audibly Offensive Radio, because I got to get downstairs and probably change a diaper. So, because it's the important things in life, and I'm about to experience my first Father's Day. So you know what? Fuck all y'all.
All y'all.
That's all I gotta say about that one. Mr. Krieger, before we get out of here, any final thoughts?
I'll just make my final thought. Since I am the intellectual savior of the asshole masses, I'll give you my word of the day.
Oh, yeah, we haven't done that yet. Shit.
Yeah. Well, we just got into everything, which is fine. The word of the day is ataraxia. Ataraxia is a pleasure derived by relaxing the mind. Basically means thinking happy thoughts. It's called ataraxia.
So, in other words, listening to this show.
Yeah. Happy thoughts.
Happy thoughts. Happy
and you can get 6 or 7 years worth of happy thoughts if you go to audibly.offensive.com, and you can just click on the link and save it, and then you have it whenever you want. That's how I do it. It's great.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just they're all there in chronological order, so you can if you have a fondness for a particular month, you can go back to a particular month. You can do it all. It's great.
Yeah. I
spare no expense.
I highly recommend the podcast directly after Thanksgiving of 2013. I highly recommend that podcast.
I'm writing that down as we speak.
Because
I listened to a lot because I don't remember that one.
For the simple fact that was the one after the Auburn-Alabama game that resulted in the 109-yard kickoff, and you just get to hear me just have another meltdown as we're going over it again. Lincoln's prodding me, and I'm just like, dirka words. I don't know what the hell's going on. Comedic, unintentional comedy. Well, we're going to get out of here. We will see you guys next week. We don't have a sign-off this week because Krieger didn't come prepared, but we'll have one.
Well, here's the sign-off. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And happy Father's Day to you, Patrick. Enjoy it.
Thank you, my friend. Krieger and you guys next week. Sometime next week. That's how we always phrase it right here on Audibly Offensive Radio. We'll see you next week. Be good to each other, and go Braves. Go Cubs. 79 days until college football season matters.